I've been having a lot of success in the Bazaar, and I want to talk about something that has been important for many of my 10-win runs. Let's say you have a board with Crow's Nest, giving crit chance and lifesteal, Figurehead, giving damage to the items on the right, Shadowy Cloak, giving haste and damage scaling, a 3736 damage lifesteal sniper rifle, and Silencer lowering cooldown on your sniper rifle. This looks solid, right? It has plenty of damage, lifesteal to heal back up, reduced cooldown on the main DPS weapon, maybe some powerful skills as well. But there's a major flaw with this board. If you'd like to pause and try to figure out the flaw for yourself, go ahead. If not, no worries, let's continue. So we load up into combat with this board, and wait, what's that? Our opponent has a clam camera on their board? Well, we're probably already cooked, because we only have one item with a cooldown. That's the important part, a cooldown. Slows, freezes, and some other disruption effects only hit items with cooldowns. Since Sniper Rifle is the only possible target, it is going to get loaded up with any slows and freezes that they have. It's a different story if it's got Radiant enchant, but that's rare. Let's discuss an idea. Granularity. Your board being composed of many individual pieces. The more pieces you have, in this case specifically pieces with cooldowns, the less vulnerable you are to crowd control, mainly slow and freeze. Replacing Figurehead with two small items that have cooldowns, even if they aren't that strong on their own, will give a much higher chance of winning fights where the opponent has disruption, and most opponents will have disruption in the late game. This is a day 13 Pygmalion board I had. 8 of my items have cooldowns, so my key pieces like the yo-yo and slingshot are less likely to get crowd control. I also have marbles, which slows things on my opponent's board whenever I use a small item on either side of it, and I have a disruptive skill that will freeze my opponent's board for 1 second once I reach half HP. I'm surprised my opponent's board doesn't have more disruption. I think people are still undervaluing it in general, especially skills. They do at least have a skill that slows one of my items for 2 seconds whenever they use an ammo item. During this fight, keep an eye on all the cooldowns that go off. As a reminder, green numbers that count down at the top of an item represent haste, and red numbers at the bottom represent slow. Another issue with their build is they're relying on a very slow item, and they didn't seem to have much cooldown reduced on it. One tip if you're relying on a slow item in your build, consider fighting the winged enemies like Mosquito and Bird when you go to PvE, because they regularly drop items that can reduce cooldown. You can also find cooldown reduction at the curio store. Whatever the case, if you notice you're going in a late game combat with just 1 or 2 large cooldown items, now you'll be more aware of the risks. Try to have more things cooling down on your board. The more items you have with cooldowns, the more resilient you'll be to crowd control. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this one. If you'd like to see more stuff like this, consider subscribing. Have a great day.